Hello everyone, my name is Jonathan Brum and I'm a forward deployed engineer here at FriendliAI. I wanted to take a few minutes to showcase a short guide through our Model API endpoints to help you and your team get started with using these services in your own workflows. Now there are a few different ways that we can get started. The easiest is to log into your FriendliAI account, as I've done here. If you need to create an API key, there is a button here at the top to quickly generate one and get started. But since I already have one of my own, I will move on to the sidebar here and click on the option for Model APIs. So you'll see here the different models that we currently have available for immediate use via our Model APIs, and getting started is as easy as clicking on any one of these models. Now when you click on a model, you'll first be taken to this overview page, which contains some general information about the model itself. One important note at the top here is the API Identifier, which is what you'll use in your code to identify this specific Model API endpoint. And we'll get to this a little bit more later on in the video, but below this are some code examples that you can copy and paste in different formats to quickly get started with using this endpoint directly in your code. Here on the right hand side, you'll see some more detailed information for the model, including the supported modalities, the token pricing, number of parameters for the model, and the overall context length for the model itself. More granular information can be found by clicking on this model card link below here, and this will take you directly to the model's Hugging Face repo, and here you can find more detailed information about this exact model. So now here's the quickest way to get started with sending prompts to this model in order to see how it responds. At the top here, we're going to go into the Playground tab, and from here you'll see a ready-to-use chat interface with this model. And you'll see here on the side, I can quickly add some system prompts as well as adjust some system settings. So let's put in a system prompt and make it a little bit more higher temperature. Oops, higher, 1.1. And if we go ahead and ask it to tell me a joke, you'll see here that it follows the reasoning saying that it's acting a bit annoyed, and you can say, or maybe I don't know at the end. Now we can adjust these settings on the fly as well to see in real time how this would affect this model's responses. So we'll go ahead and just change this prompt directly here. And then if we say again, tell me a joke, we'll see that it now takes the new personality and reasoning here. Oh, it says oi at the beginning of the sentences, and it acts very tired in a response. Now, I won't dive into it too much into this video, but there are additional options at the top here to include web searching and other enhanced functionality here, again, under the Tools button at the top. So once you have these model settings tuned to your needs, or if you want to dive right into using this model directly in your code, there are a few ways we can get started. From the playground here, next to that Tools button that I mentioned before, there is another button that says View Code. When you click this, you'll be shown options for Python, JavaScript, and curl commands to replicate the exact conversation as it has occurred in the playground up to this point. So if I scroll down, you'll see here a little bit of the back and forth between the system UI and what I've been saying here, as well as the response from the model itself. Now I can simply copy and paste this Python code. I'm going to use PyCharm for my IDE, but I can simply, we'll get rid of this here, copy and paste this, and this will run directly here in my IDE. Now, one thing to note is I already have this API key stored as an environment variable here in my runtime configurations. So if you don't have that stored, you'll have to refer to it differently here in this API key, or define your API key some other way. But again, I have my API key stored in an environment variable as API key, so I can run this and you'll see here it will spit out. Right now it is going to spit out the streamed response for the model, as that is what is the default settings here for streaming this. But I'll show you a quick pro tip to get this quickly transform into a stream false so that we can get the entirety of the model response all at once here. So quick pro tip, if you're copying directly from the playground and want to print out just the entirety of the model response in one chunk, all we have to do is at the end of this response here, we're going to add .json here. And what this is going to do, we're going to use the JSON library's native parser. So in order to do this, rather than using the period notation as you might see here, we're actually going to shift over to bracket notation. And the order that we want to do here is the first object is called choices. Inside of choices, we want to look at the first choice. So just in the array of numbers, it's going to be 0 in case you have multiple responses coming back from the model. The next option here is going to be message. And then finally, it'll be content to access the actual response from the model itself. Finally, up here, we're going to erase these stream options because we are no longer streaming. And then we're going to change this option from true to false here. So now when I run this, you'll see that the model response gets printed out all at once, and it's again still following the system prompt of being tired and saying oi at the beginning of his response here. One quick note is that the copied content does have the last message from the user as blank. So you'll see here the actual response from the model is responding to the fact that there's really nothing here. So instead, what we're going to do is, instead of keeping that blank, we're going to, instead of telling another joke, we'll have this code response look back in the conversation to the responses we had from the UI. And from those exact responses, we're going to further iterate and say, hey, let's score these jokes on a scale of 1 to 10 here. Awesome, and you'll see now once the model responds, we do have it giving the first joke that it gave a 6 and the second joke a 7. So maybe up in the temperature made the AI model a little bit more comedic or creative in its comedy. Now, if you want to update the model being used, it's as simple as changing the model that we're referring to here. And again, we're going to be specifying that using the API identifier that we highlighted before. So right now I'm using GLM-5.2. Let's go over and say, we'll use DeepSeek. So I can copy the API identifier directly from this model API page like this. And you'll see if I paste it up here, I have the API identifier for the DeepSeek model. Or again, if I click on the model itself, you'll find that API identifier right here at the top. And if I go back into my model here and I paste my new model endpoint, running the same exact code here, we'll now get the response coming back from the DeepSeek model instead of the GLM-5.2 model from before. So you'll see here the response coming back from the DeepSeek model is very similar to the GLM-5.2. It's still following the system prompt of acting tired, and it gave the same scores to the jokes as well. So just a few more points before we wrap up this video. I mentioned before in this initial model overview page has some code examples at the bottom that you can copy and paste in the same way to get started using this model API. You'll notice when you paste these examples from the overview page that stream will automatically be set to false, whereas in Playground, the code examples are going to be set to stream true. So if it helps to quickly get an example to use, there's a quick shortcut. The overview shortcuts will give you a stream false example, while the Playground code examples will give you a stream true example. And I'll showcase this here really quickly. We'll use a curl command this time just to show the different programming languages function the same exact way in terms of copying and pasting. Noting again that I have my API key stored in my terminal as well. So let me bring this over here and you'll see if I copy and paste this exact command from the overview, we'll give the model a few seconds to respond, and you'll see that in the same content attribute here, I have the response all at once from the model instead of being streamed token by token. Finally, as we wrap up, I just wanted to point out that each model API also has the option here under metrics to see how this endpoint has been performing specifically for your requests. So you'll see here over time the overall number of process requests I've been doing over the past few hours, as well as the status codes those requests have been seeing. Below this, you'll see a more detailed table that shows the request ID, the related status code, and how long that request took to process. Below this, you'll see some latency metrics that'll be, again, specific for your workload. So you'll see here the time to first token that I've been seeing for my requests, the time per output token I've been seeing for those requests, as well as the overall request latency in different statistical deviations. Finally, the last metric here we see at the bottom is the process tokens for my request broken down between input token, cached input tokens, and output tokens. Certain models have pricing different for input versus cached input. Some models have the input and cached input the same. You'll again see these token pricings here for the model. So we'll see here, GLM, for instance, has different pricing for cached versus non-cached input, but something like Gemma will have just input and output pricing. And finally, to point out at the top here is our documentation to help you dive into anything in particular, or if you have any questions, there is also the wonderful FriendliAI support team who are happy to jump in and answer any questions or help your team with their workflows. And that's it for this video. As always, I hope this has been helpful. Please do not hesitate to reach out with any questions or if we need to clarify anything further, and looking forward to working with you and your team in the near future. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next video.